Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is your Vedic astrology coach Rajat Kapoor and welcome to my channel The Legit Astrologer. In my channel I make videos on Vedic astrology, I talk about transits. Today this video is about Mercury's exalted transit in the sign of Virgo, which is bringing in a ray of hope for the next few weeks. Mid of September there are major changes that are happening. Venus is changing signs, Mars has already changed signs, Mercury is going to change sign and Sun will also be changing signs. So these transits collectively are bringing big shift. Mercury is moving out of Leo and now entering its exaltation sign or its Ucha Rashi Virgo or Kanya on 15th of September, and this is going to last till 3rd of October. Mercury therefore is in great dignity for the next 3 weeks. During this transit, Mercury will be conjoined with Sun. They're going to be forming a Buddha-Aditya Yoga in the sign of Virgo. Yes, Mercury will also undergo combustion. But Mercury most of the time remains very close to the Sun. So it rarely has any impact of combustion unless it is in very close degree, deeply combusted by Sun, which is only going to be applicable for a few days. Now during this transit, Mercury will also be in opposition with Saturn. Saturn is going retrograde in the sign of Pisces. When it is retrograde, it has a very strong 7th aspect on Mercury. Both of them are in a mutual aspect. Though Mercury and Shani, Saturn, they share a friendly relationship. And here Mercury is in a great dignity. Though Saturn's aspect somehow might try to restrict the communication capabilities, restrict your intelligence, your decision making, might slow down the process, but Mercury still is in a great dignity. During the 3 planetary involvement, Mercury, Sun conjoined in Virgo and in a mutual aspect with Saturn, Mercury has a greater say till 3rd of October because of its exaltation sign. Now let's try and understand how this transit is going to have an impact on all 12 ascendant signs or the moon signs. At the physical level, you must read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. And I call this transit a ray of hope, a ray of positivity amongst all the heavy and not so good things that are happening around us. Aries ascendant signs or the Aries moon signs. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. Mercury or Buddha becomes your 3rd and the 6th lord. It is not the most ideal graha or planet in your case. It becomes a potent malefic because it has those tendencies. Being the 3rd and the 6th lord, it doesn't have a great lordship. 3rd lord is the lord of valor, courage, your sense of optimism, change, growth is seen from this house. 6th house also is an Upachaya Bhava which represents growth. So for growth related matters, free will related matters and independent decision making, Mercury plays a very important role. It is also responsible for your health, vitality, your well-being, because we see health related matters from the 6th house and the Lord as well. He is the one who rules your daily routine and also plays an important role in job related matters. So Buddha is now going to be entering your 6th house where it is sitting in its exaltation sign. It is also the 6th Lord making a transit in the 6th house, which is creating a Viparita Yoga in place. See, the basic principle of Jyotish is when a functional malefic is falling, is going low, so its malefic qualities will also have certain impact. Mercury is a kind of graha that very easily gets influenced with other grahas. Now it is in conjunction with Sun, who is your 5th lord. So it is under a good influence of leadership, authority, but there could be some issues with regards to communication with people who hold authority at work. So you have to be very careful. Avoid impulsive judgment, avoid being reactive to situations, otherwise it could be detrimental towards your well-being. During this time, Mercury is also in a mutual aspect with Saturn, who is your 10th lord. Saturn is making a retrograde transit in the 12th house. Momentarily, it is going to try and slow things down in your daily routine and what you do on a day-to-day basis. But this time period could trigger a job change, and this could happen in a very sudden manner. Suddenly something comes to an end and you're getting a new project, you're getting a new assignment. Look for some quick wins at work. Because see, Mercury is a fast moving planet. It demands you to increase your pace of life. Saturn somehow is slowing down things. Your 6-12 axis has the energies of Mercury, Sun as well as Saturn. From a remedial point of view, you must look at Sun. So do mantras related to Sun, have a morning spiritual discipline, and try to increase your spiritual sadhana as well, because Mercury is having a 7th aspect on the 12th house. So it desires you to bring in the power of communication and a fast-paced routine in terms of your spiritual practices. This time is also essential for you to improve the quality of your sleep. Make sure that you get good 8 hours of sleep so that you're energized all through the day. You can either use the Panchakshari mantra, that is Namah Shivaya, or a Shadakshari Vishnu mantra, that is Om Vishnave Namah, in order to channelize these energies. See, circumstances, situations could go adverse, eventually you will rise. From a health and vitality point of view, you have to take care of your digestive system during this time, because that is a bit concerning. So there could be hospital visits. You have to take care of your health, vitality. That has to be the number one priority. Work situation and circumstances could improve. Your relationship also needs a sense of protection, because there could be a communication gap between you and your partner. In case you're trying to establish a new relationship, this might not be the ideal time for you to take those steps. Try to fix your daily routine. Continue to strengthen Sun in your chart. Use mantras related to Sun. Offer water to Sun in order to channelize these energies. Taurus ascendant signs or the Taurus moon signs. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. Mercury or Buddha becomes an important planet for you because it is your second lord and the fifth lord. So it is a Karak Graha. Moreover, it plays a very important role in financial matters, because both of these houses represent Lakshmi Sthan or Lakshmi Bhavas. Second house, we see Dhan or your accumulation, what you store. It is the house of consumption, your bhoga. First house is Lagna, second house is what you consume in terms of worldly matters. This house has a lot of Rajasic energies, and the sign of Gemini falls here based on your Lagna. Mercury also becomes your fifth lord of future, positional success. This is one of the Rajya Bhavas or the house of kingdom. Therefore, Mercury's role becomes very important for positional matters. It rules mantra as well because it becomes Mantresha. So it is a very important planet, being the fifth lord. Now Mercury is making a transit in the fifth house itself, which is a very powerful position till the first week of October. And during this time, it is forming multiple Dhan Yogas. It is also in conjunction with your fourth lord Surya. It is also in a mutual aspect with your ninth lord Saturn, who's making a pretty good retrograde transit in your 11th house. So if you've been looking forward towards a rise in your income, some sort of recognition, positional success, this time period could probably make the circumstances quite favorable for you in case your Dasha Antardasha is supportive. Mantra based remedies are going to be working very well for you. So this could be either a Vishnu mantra or a Lakshmi mantra or a Mercury Bij mantra you can use and chant each and every day for the next 2 to 3 weeks to maximize these results. Surya and Mercury are forming a Buddhaditya Yoga in the fifth house, which means that you should go for some sort of education. This education could help you in increasing your financial capacity. So either you learn to manage your finances or you go for education that is related to your work, because Shani, your 10th lord, is also involved in a mutual aspect with Mercury. Saturn's aspect on Mercury is mostly supportive because they share a friendly relationship. But momentarily, it can slow things down. See, Mercury is a very fast-paced planet. Saturn is a slow planet. It's a cold planet. So therefore, it tries to bring traditional way of doing things. It tries to bring in a sense of maturity with Prince Mercury, and this doesn't really go very well. Mercury is a bachelor graha, so it wants to probably take decisions independently without any restriction. And here it is under the influence of both Surya as well as Shani, the father and son. So of course, it is involved in between this conflict. So this is where your independent thinking, your independent decision making will play a role, but mostly it is a very positive transit for you. It is an excellent time to put your resources, your energy, your attention in future planning, in perhaps setting goals for yourself for the remainder of the next few months of this year, which could bring some sort of positional success. And Mercury is also going to be involved in the upcoming solar eclipse. So there are new beginnings with regards to your future, with regards to your position, with regards to your passion as well. You will have a renewed energy when it comes to creative pursuits. So go for creativity, put your energy, attention into creative pursuits, and you will be successful in the coming weeks. Gemini ascendant signs or the Gemini moon signs. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. Mercury is your Lagna lord, lord of the ascendant. He is the ruler of yourself, your vitality, your immunity, who you are. Therefore, Mercury's transit for you is utmost important. Regardless of the kind of dasha, antardasha periods that you're running through, its transit will always play a vital role. Now, something that Mercury is going to help you in the last half of this month, in the second half of September and early October, is your decision making. Because there are multiple planets in your quadrant houses, including Jupiter, Mercury, Sun, and Saturn. So, this is promoting good decision making. Mercury is also your fourth lord, the one who rules your happy space, your comfort space, your assets, your possessions, mother, and your homeland. So somehow you would like to be connected to your mother or your homeland. You would increase your communication. There is some karma that is there during this time, and you should fulfill this karma. Mercury is in a very strong position, though it is also Maran Karak in the fourth house. It is a death-like position, but it is in an exaltation sign. So it is in great dignity in spite of being Maran Karak. So at one hand, it is definitely losing signification, right? But being in a great dignity, it is giving you utmost support when it comes to matters related to communication, your self-confidence, your decision making, your intelligence, and your sense of comfort space. You will be very clearly articulating your sense of priority at workplace. Mercury and Sun are involved in a Buddha-Aditya Yoga in your fourth house, which represents your fundamental education, your primary education. So you would like to look back and rebuild your fundamental ecosystem, your values, and try to instill those values within your loved ones and within your community as well. This is also the house of public. So there's great leadership potential and communication through which you can influence the masses. So if you are probably working towards the fields of public speaking or any sort of encouragement, if you deal with others, if you deal with masses, if you deal with people, you will develop and demonstrate good leadership and communication potential along with a sense of hard work, because Mercury is involved in a mutual aspect with Saturn, who is your ninth lord, making a retrograde transit in the 10th house. So this could trigger workplace change. This could also trigger a change of place, a change of location, or some sort of developments that you will do at your home. Bring some new plants at your home. This could be a potentially good remedy for you. Declutter your home, try to clean up the space, and take care of your well-being. Practice a lot of mindfulness. A 30-minute morning routine will be absolutely essential for you, which could ensure that any efforts that you put towards your mindfulness, towards your comfort, and a stable work environment, you could get very good results during this time. Mostly, I would consider this transit as positive in spite of Mercury being Maran Karak, because it is forming multiple good yogas and your 4-10 axis is absolutely active, and may you have a blessed time ahead. Cancer ascendant signs or the Cancer moon signs. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this transit from your moon sign. So what is happening in Mercury's transit? That now it is going to be entering your third house in the exaltation sign of Virgo. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. It is going to be in great dignity for the next 3 weeks starting 15th of September. Now Buddha for you is not the most ideal planet because it becomes your third lord and the 12th lord. Moreover, it shares an inimical relationship with your Lagna lord Moon. So somehow it is going to have an adverse impact on your decision making. Alright? Because the pace of life, the pace of things and the structure will be in attention, because it will be absurd. Now the pace could be inconsistent as well. Third lord making a transit in the third house. Third house represents your effort, your valor, your courage, change. Change is going to come at a faster pace. This is also your 12th lord of expenditure, your higher self-consciousness, your losses, things that you do to help you become more self-aware. The inconsistencies of life, your fear, your subconscious mind or thinking is also seen from the 12th house. Now, this house is 4th from the 12th house, which also represents your assets outside of the home country, outside of homeland. So in case you have some assets which are outside of your home country, this time period you might deal with some unnecessary paperwork, or this could be paperwork related to your residency. So be prepared to deal with some government related paperwork. Now your 3-9 axis is active. Mercury and Sun are in a yoga in the third house. There is a Buddha-Aditya yoga. So you must take short education courses, certification courses, and quick learning nuggets is something which you must undergo over the course of next 2 to 3 weeks. It is favorable for you. Mercury is also in a mutual aspect with Saturn, who is your 7th lord, making a transit in the 9th house. So this is bringing in some relationship karma. You could expect some difficult, heavy energies when it comes to relationship matters with your spouse. There could be some communication gap. There could be some ideological differences which you can have with other people. But this time period does encourage journeys. If these journeys are for spiritual pursuit, for your self-awareness, and of course solo travel, this could bring some good results as well. This might not be the ideal time to start new projects, start new assignments, so you have to probably stay low key over the course of next few weeks. But one thing is certain, that resources are favorable for you to make any efforts that you put in. Since Mercury's aspect is on the 9th house, it is supporting Bhagya, it is protecting Bhagya, it is promoting Bhagya. Even Sun, both Sun and Mercury are trying to make resources favorable for you in terms of bringing a positive change. But your decision making is going to be a bit weak. You will not have the confidence to take that right step. So therefore, stay low key over the course of next 2 to 3 weeks. Journaling is a very good remedy for you. Mercury is communication. 3rd house we also see written communication from. So use your hands to pen down your thoughts, your plans, your action, things that you're grateful for. You will be able to bring in a lot of positivity around you. So use this remedy to make your life better over the course of next few weeks. Leo ascendant signs or the Leo moon signs. Mercury, who is your 2nd lord and the 11th lord. So it rules 2 houses that has a lot to do with your finances. 2nd house is your Dhan Bhav. We see your family, your consumption, your food, and also your speech from this house, Dhan Kutumba Vani. And it represents all those people who you would like to protect. That of course starts with your family. Being the 11th lord, it rules your income, it rules your material comfort. 11th house is also the house of Maya, illusion. It is also the house of fulfillment, because fulfillment of your ascendant is seen from the 11th house, because this house represents all the worldly things. So both 2nd and 11th house has a lot of Rajasic energies. Mercury itself is a Rajasic planet. It focuses a lot in terms of the material world, material comfort. When it is alone, it likes to take decisions by itself. When it is influenced by other grahas, which is the case in this transit, it is under the influence of Sun and Saturn. It is hemmed between the conflict of the father and son, that is Sun and Saturn. Okay. But this is also your 2nd lord making a transit in the 2nd house, and the 11th lord making a transit in the 2nd house, conjoined with your ascendant lord Sun, which is forming a beautiful Dhan Yoga over the course of next 3 weeks. So you can expect a rise in your income. You could expect stability in your financial position. But this time period could bring in a sense of aggressiveness or probably authority in your speech, in your communication. This is where you have to be a little bit careful, because Sun is authority, Sun is fire, and Mercury is communication. Though you could leverage that for your learning ability to probably increase your learning practice or try to learn a few things and how you can create a secondary source of income. This should be your agenda and your motto. Now Mercury is also in a mutual aspect with Saturn, who is your 7th lord making a transit in the 8th house. So this could trigger some relationship level differences, because there is also Rahu making a transit in your 7th house. So this could really cause some serious implications with your relationship along with your spouse. So be very careful over the course of next 2 to 3 weeks. Do not end up saying something that you will regret later. Avoid impulsiveness in your family matters. Impulsive decisions related to your finances, related to your spending, and also with your spouse. Be a good listener. Think before you speak is the mantra to establishing good stability and cordial relationship with your spouse, with your partner. In case you're probably looking at establishing a new relationship, this time period might not be most appropriate for you for this matter. Though Saturn's aspect is going to slow down your mental process. Mercury wants to work at a very fast pace because it is naturally the fastest moving graha. But it is giving you some good Dhan Yogas during this time. So your financial position is likely to improve. But you must take care of your health in terms of what you consume, what you eat. That has to be your priority if you were to improve your health. What's your lifestyle? Because you might indulge in different food, you might indulge or in terms of extravagance. So this is where you have to be a little bit careful, because Saturn being retrograde, it is having a very strong drishti on your second house on this Mercury. Continue to strengthen Sun by offering water to Sun, by using a Panchakshari mantra, that is Namah Shivaya, in order to channelize these energies. Virgo ascendant signs or the Virgo moon signs. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. So for Virgo ascendants, please welcome your Lagna Lord, Lord of the Ascendant, Buddha, the Prince, in your ascendant itself for the next 3 weeks, starting 15th of September. This is an extremely positive and an opportunistic transit for you in case you've been facing issues with regards to your decision making. So one thing is quite certain, that second half of September, your decision making is going to be quite firm, fast. You will have authority in your decision making. You will use the power of wisdom and the power of labor as well, because there is Mercury, Sun, Saturn and Jupiter making a transit in your quadrant houses, right? Which is protecting the pillars, your dharma, artha, kama and moksha. You know, these natural houses of which are the pillars of life. These are the ayanas. Mercury gains directional strength in the first house. It is sitting in its exaltation sign. It is in a yoga with Sun, also with Saturn. Though Sun is your 12th lord sitting in the ascendant along with Mercury, it is going to increase your expenditure. But you must incur expenditure on right things, on right deeds. See, Venus is also making a transit simultaneously in your 12th house. So all these are indicative of increasing your expenditure. But you must incur on dharma towards yourself, towards your family, because Mercury towards the end of the day is lord of your Lagna and your 10th house. It rules yourself, your work, your profession, your actions in the society. It has the power of your Dhi Shakti, which is your intelligence, your conscious thinking, the power of your brain. So your decision making is right. You must spend from a karmic standpoint on yourself and your family. So of course, work related matters are going to progress. You will demonstrate leadership and also communication in any work related decision. Things are pretty much favorable for you. Mercury is also in a yoga with your 5th lord Saturn, because there is going to be a mutual aspect. Saturn's retrograde, but it is making a transit in the 7th house where it gains direction strength. Sun is sitting in your ascendant, who's the Karaka. Mercury is in direction strength. So Mercury and Saturn forming a yoga. It's a Dhan yoga in transit. It is also a yoga that is creating some sort of positional success or a rise in your work. Okay. Relationship matters are also going to improve. This period might bring some sense of stability in your personal life, in your personal decision making, personal matters. So be independent, be responsible for your own decisions, take things in your own hand. One thing that you have to avoid during this time is avoid impulsive decision making or impulsiveness in your behavior. You could be impulsive or probably also moody when it comes to dealing with other people. So you will tend to be a bit more faster than others. You would be very fast and very quick in making decisions. So this could mean that your reactive quotient is going to be pretty high. So you need to have plenty of patience, think and then act. Take into account all considerations and how it is going to impact the other person, the other people who are involved in these decisions. If you were to improve, if you were to strengthen these relationships, otherwise I consider this mostly positive for you and may you have a blessed time ahead. Libra ascendant signs or the Libra moon signs. At the physical level, you would read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. So what is happening with Libra ascendants? Mercury is now going to be entering your 12th house. Buddha for you is the 9th lord and the 12th lord. So it is an important planet because it becomes your Bhagyesha. It is the one who rules your 9th house of fortune, Bhagya, your dharma, your religion. It is also the house of your lineage, your father or guru, and also the house of higher education, spiritual places. Mercury is also the 12th lord of your higher self-consciousness, your expenditure, losses, your ability to be more self-aware, your ability to give. Donations are also seen from the 12th house. So the 12th lord making a transit in the 12th house is also a Vipreet yoga in transit wherein circumstances can go adverse, eventually you will have the capacity to rise in this transit. It is a good transit to increase your self-awareness. It is a good transit for any spiritual practices. But resources are not going to be very favorable for you because this Mercury is conjoined with Sun, who is Maran Karak and holds a death-like position in the 12th house over the coming days. So you will struggle when it comes to putting the right resources. So Bhagya also is not going to be somewhat favorable for you. So you have to stay low-key and increase your spiritual sadhana. Mercury is also in a yoga with your 4th and the 5th lord Saturn. But this yoga is involved in your 6th and 12th axis. It will bring a greater focus on your health, your vitality, your well-being. There could be some hospital visits, so make sure you take care of your health, you stay protected. Take care of what you eat because there could be some digestive issues. There is an influx of Agni, Mars making a transit in Ascendant, Saturn being a cold planet in your 6th house, which represents your digestion. Avoid cold food, avoid stale food. Make sure that you indulge in only fresh, home cooked food. Freshness is the way of life if you were to protect your sense of well-being. Practice yoga, sadhana, do Surya Namaskar as a potential remedy. Since circumstances will go adverse, eventually you will rise. This time period, you still have very good protection when it comes to matters related to your work, related to your job. That is very much protected, but your health and vitality does need some focus more at the psychological level. Mercury and Saturn's mutual aspect will ensure that you want to bring in a sense of pace in your daily life. So that things are going to pick up the pace and you have to cope up with that pace as well, cope up with that change as well. Expectations from you are going to be quite high when it comes to other people, people that you work with, your bosses, people who hold an authority. And it is on you how you manage and navigate through these expectations. So be very clear of your personal priorities. Be very clear in your communication. Don't end up acknowledging anything and everything. Don't end up saying a yes to everything because later it can become difficult for you. Use the Dwadashakshari Vishnu mantra, that is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Use this mantra in midday time if you were to improve your work, and use this mantra in the evening if you were to improve your relationship. Scorpio ascendant signs. At the physical level, you must read this transit from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. Mercury or Buddha is now going to be entering your 11th house on 15th of September and it is going to stay there till 3rd of October. Mercury is going to be in its exaltation sign of Virgo, which is a very strong position. And any planet that makes a transit in the 11th house or placed in the 11th house mostly deliver good results from a material point of view. This house also has a lot of Rajasic energies and Mercury is a Rajas planet. It is in its exaltation sign, it is in great dignity. So for financial matters, it is a very good time for you. For matters pertaining to your friends, connections, network, your capacity to build network, your ability to expand and focusing more on your personal brand. That is the key message. Now Mercury for you is not the most ideal planet because it is also your 8th lord besides being the 11th lord of material gains and your illusion. Being the 8th lord, it represents longevity, suddenness in life, transformation, deep dark places, your secret desires, your weaknesses, because we see Nija Dosha from the 8th house. Jupiter is giving you some last minute protection while making a transit in the 8th house. Your Bhagya or fortune is being extremely supportive during this time. Sun is also your 10th lord making a transit in the 11th house and conjoined with Mercury. So both of them are in a yoga. So when your 10th lord and 11th lord are in a yoga in the 11th house, you are likely to get some sort of recognition at your workplace or some appreciation, some acknowledgement or support from your seniors. Condition that you make your presence felt. So one thing is that you work and you've probably done your work. Second part of the work is that probably you work and you showcase, you highlight your work, you make your presence felt. And this is how you will demonstrate your credibility to others. So whatever you work, brand, build a communication strategy around it. Make your presence felt and share that with people. Talk about your achievements, talk about your work and of course your skills and what you bring. You're likely to succeed. Mercury is also in a mutual aspect with Saturn. Saturn is making a retrograde transit in your 5th house. So both of them are in a mutual aspect, so which will ensure that any efforts that you put, things are going to be slightly delayed, but your efforts will get the desired results. You must engage in certain mantra practices. Mantra sadhana would be extremely good for you. A simple Guru mantra or Jupiter's mantra could be good, that is Om Gurave Namah 12 times, which will help channelize these energies of Saturn and help you take the right kind of decisions and probably deal with any adversity that you might face or encounter during this time. You might get involved in certain conflicts with your friends because of ego, because of some communication issue or gap. So this is where you also have to be a little bit careful. But this is an excellent time for social media expansion. Any kind of work that you do, social media, professional media expansion is a must do over the course of next 2 to 3 weeks. You can have some unexpected results as well, some very good results. Sagittarius ascendant signs. At the physical level, you will read this transit from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. So please welcome Mercury, Buddha in your 10th house. So between 15th of September till early October, it is a very good time for you to make some important decisions in your life. Because there are 4 planets making a transit in your quadrant houses: Saturn, Jupiter, Sun and Mercury. Mercury is entering Virgo very soon. Sun will be joining Mercury in your 10th house. So Mercury is the Karaka or the Naisargik Karaka, the natural significator of the 10th house. He represents learning. 10th house is the house of work. Mercury also becomes your 10th lord of the Karya Bhava, your karmas, your actions, your work, duty, profession, job, business, your sense of recognition, your sense of professional success, because this is the Rajya Bhava or the house that represents kingdom or king-like success. So therefore, it's a good time period for you for a breakthrough in career, in work-related matters. There's a powerful Buddhaditya Yoga. Sun is also your 9th lord, making a transit in the 10th house, conjoined with Mercury, which is forming a powerful Dharma Karma Yoga, which is one of the most auspicious yogas. Sun gains direction strength in the 10th house and it is Digbali. So it is also in great dignity. There are blessings of Devatas during this time. You could make some very good work related decisions. You can get support of your seniors, of your leaders, and at the same time you can make your presence felt as well. In case you are going through a favorable Dasha Antadasha, you can get a new, bigger, better opportunity, promotion, or some sort of growth prospects can clear your way, your path to success. Now Mercury is also aspecting your 4th house by the 7th aspect and is a mutual aspect with Saturn. Saturn is your 2nd lord. So therefore, it is also creating favorable circumstances for some sort of financial growth during this time. But Saturn is going to slow down things at work. There could be some delay, there could be some issues with your subordinate. And this is where you have to be a little bit careful, either with your peers or subordinate. You could probably face the brunt of some office politics. So stay away from negative and toxic people during this time. And focus more on your mindfulness, declutter your workspace, make sure that you keep your workspace clean. You can bring some plants and keep some plants at your workplace, which can bring a lot of positivity. See, since Mercury is also your 7th lord, it also becomes the Badakesh in your case. So Badakesh being exalted can also bring strong obstacles, strong opposition. And this is where you must look at worshipping Ganesha, Ganpati. Look up to him to resolve any obstacles. You can also at this time keep a Ganpati yantra or a Ganesha yantra in your place of worship and worship it every day to minimize these obstacles. Towards the end of the day, be rest assured that you will cope up with any sudden events. You will overcome your weaknesses. Look up to Sun. Continue to strengthen Sun by either offering water to Sun or using a simple Surya mantra, that is Om Grini Surya Aditya, and you will get favorable resources at work. You will get the desired support that you need, and you will also learn at work because Sun and Mercury are forming a beautiful Buddhaditya Yoga in your 10th house. Capricorn ascendant signs or the Capricorn moon signs. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. Buddha or Mercury is an important planet for you. because this becomes your 6th lord and the 9th lord. Being the 6th lord, it represents your daily routine, things that you do on a day-to-day basis, your health, vitality. Your job is also seen from the 6th house. This house represents your seva, your ability to do a lot for others. This house represents your weaknesses of the mind as well. It's a weak house as well, because this house can probably make you, be obsessive with things, make you be greedy about things. Mercury is also your 9th lord of fortune, bhagya, your dharma, your sense of righteousness in life, lineage, your father, guru, higher education. Long distance journeys are also seen from the 9th house and its lord. So Mercury is now entering your 9th house in its exaltation sign. It will be conjoined with Surya. Both of them are forming a Buddha Aditya yoga, a very beautiful yoga in the 9th house that promotes higher education. So if you're a student, have higher education pursuits, this time period is extremely favorable for you. More so because Mercury is in a mutual aspect with Saturn, who is your Lagna lord. Lord of the Ascendant Saturn making a retrograde transit in your 3rd house in a mutual aspect with Mercury, your 9th lord, is promoting travel. International travel could be on the cards. In case you are probably looking for a long-term movement, trying to settle outside of your home country, you could be involved in paperwork and things can move forward. You can have support of authorities, you can have support of government. There could be some delay, but if you're involved in some paperwork, now you will see some movement that is happening which could create favorable circumstances for you. So if it is related to education, if it is related to work or a permanent movement, things could be favorable for you. If not, you must go on a spiritual journey during this time, because the 3-9 axis is anyway active. Your bhagya is being supported because your bhagyesha is making a transit in the 9th house. It is very strong. You must look up to Mercury. Continue to do any Vishnu sadhana, listen to Vishnu Sahasranam, or use an Ashtakshari Vishnu mantra or a Narayan mantra, that is Om Namo Narayanaya, in order to channelize the most of these energies. And you must go for new learning opportunities, because there's a Buddha Aditya yoga in the 9th house, and both Surya and Mercury are aspecting your 3rd house of learning, communication. If you were to cope up with change, it begins from learning. Enroll yourself in a course very soon, something that is useful for your higher education, or you could probably go for spiritual education as well. Learn about Vedanga, Jyotish and ancient sciences to build your fundamental knowledge, so you can also give the right kind of message to other people as well. Aquarius ascendant signs or the Aquarius moon signs. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. Mercury or Buddha is very soon entering its exaltation sign in Virgo on 15th of September. It is going to stay here till 3rd of October. I call this transit a ray of hope. During this intense time period, mid-September, there are major changes that are happening. Mercury in your case becomes the 5th lord and the 8th lord. Being the 5th lord, it holds a great lordship because this house represents your future, your children. Positional success is seen from this house. Mantras are seen from this house. So whether a mantra based remedy will work well for you or not is seen from the 5th house. Planet Jupiter is making its last leg of transit before momentarily it enters Cancer and then retrogrades back to the 5th house. So it will create that kind of energy shift as well. So whether mantra based remedies will work for you or not, this time period is quite important for you. Mercury is also your 8th lord of weaknesses, the house of secret desires, longevity, transformation, suddenness in life. Being the 8th lord, making a transit in the 8th house is a Viparita yoga in transit. Circumstances could go adverse. Eventually, you will rise from this transit. So it is more or less a forward-looking transit, because I consider Mercury one of the better grahas in the 8th house. It mostly delivers very good results from a mundane level. It somehow protects you from any unforeseen circumstances or situation, and it has a good ability to deliver financial results as well, because it has an aspect on the 2nd house and it is involved in a mutual aspect with your Lagna lord, lord of the ascendant, Saturn. So your financial matters will pick up and see some improvement. You might do some sort of budget exercise. There could be sudden inflow of funds, sudden increase of funds, or probably if there were some delayed payments, now you could see those payments hitting your accounts. If there were some issues with regards to inheritance or related paperwork, now things can move forward. You can have support of government as well, because Mercury is conjoined with Sun. See, there's a Buddha Aditya Yoga in your 8th house. Go for research related subjects. Excellent time for you to learn Jyotish, learn astrology. You will do the research. Moreover, you will pick the subject up in a very fast paced manner. You will be a quick learner because Mercury delivers results very quickly in a very fast paced manner. Your 8-2 axis is active. It does call for you to protect your finances, save your income, and also bring in a 180-degree change in your lifestyle. If you were to have a healthy living, if you were to have a happy living, if you also were to protect your relationships. See, relationships are sensitive because Venus, Ketu are conjoined in your 7th house. But Mercury is supporting relationship matters in the 8th house by the virtue of fulfilling your relationship through communication. Keep your ego aside, stay grounded, and increase your spiritual sadhana over the next few weeks. Pisces ascendant signs or the Pisces moon signs. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. So what is happening here is Buddha, Mercury now is going to be entering its exaltation sign in Virgo. That is happening in your 7th house. Mercury also becomes the 7th lord. So 7th lord making a transit in the 7th house in its exaltation sign. Mercury also becomes your Bhadakesh because it is the 7th lord. So it's a tricky transit for you. In spite of all these energies, one thing is quite certain, that you will see significant improvement in your relationship matters with other people. Mercury is also Maran Karak in the 7th house. It's not the most ideal position because it doesn't understand, this whole relationship situation, right? Mercury is a bachelor graha and it is also under the influence of Sun and Saturn. So of course, by the virtue of these mixed energies, I can still conclude that being in its exaltation sign, it is protecting your relationship. It is going to elevate your personal decision making capacity. Mid-September through early October is a very good time for you to make important decisions in your life because there is Saturn, Jupiter, Mercury and Sun making a transit in your quadrant houses, which are going to promote decision making, which is going to help you take the most important decisions in your life by the virtue of these energies. Because your ayanas, your 4 pillars of life, dharma, artha, kama and moksha, are most positive. Saturn is going to slow things down because Saturn and Mercury are also in mutual aspect. Saturn's Maran Karak, it is a death-like position. You must remedy Surya. Do a mantra related to Surya, offer water to Sun in order to channelize both these energies of Saturn as well as Mercury in the most positive manner. Now your Lagna Lord Jupiter is also regulating the space. So of course, it will going to bring a lot of wisdom and the power of intelligence in your decision making. See, if you run a business, there is a Buddha Yoga in your 7th house. So you must learn something new. Go for some education that can help you in your business venture, in your partnership. Keep your ego aside in partnership because there could be some communication gap. Not the most ideal time to establish new partnerships, but for independent thinking, independent decision making, it is a good time. Mercury is aspecting your Lagna, your 1st house, by the 7th aspect of desire. So it desires you to speed up, increase the pace of what you do. Slowness is not the solution. Procrastination is not the solution. Act now, go for quick wins in your life. There is a power of communication that is influencing your ascendant, your Lagna. This can make you impulsive as well. This can, probably make you a fast thinker and your decisions could be quite fast. So, especially when it comes to dealing with your finances or probably dealing with things at your home, because Mercury is also your 4th lord. He rules your assets, your home, your vehicles, things that you own. So, you might want to be impulsive in buying something for your house that you don't need during this time. You might unnecessarily incur expenditure, and expenditure is something wherein you have to be extremely careful. Take support of your partner, take support of your spouse, and in case you're looking forward to establishing or stepping into a new relationship, you could see some positive energies, and of course time period could be favorable for you for these avenues. Make sure that you keep yourself protected. Make sure that you continue to strengthen your Sun and your Ascendant Lord Jupiter to the best of your capability, and may you have a blessed time ahead. So friends, this was yet another unique video on Mercury's upcoming exalted transit in Virgo, where it will be conjoined with Sun and in a mutual aspect with Saturn. I hope and believe Mercury's exalted transit in Virgo brings in a ray of great positivity in our life and helps us elevate our communication and intelligence in whatever we do on a day-to-day basis, and at the same time helps us focus on our health and well-being. Stay tuned for more such videos on my channel. Thank you very much. God bless you all.